contradict Arjuna. No, I can kill that mind. Well, yes, that's why I'm telling you. Just to give up Ashra money horse. Horse meaning follow me.
Yeah.
That is
Joy.
Then he start that Ashra. Name is the Arjuna. Only name. One boy, age was 12 to 13 years. He catched that horse. Then the report came, here is a horse is caught by one boy, name is Gopru. Then the Arjuna, very angry. Who is that boy? He knows that horse sent by Arjuna Swayam. Swayam, what in English, what do you mean by that? Swayam, that is
He himself.
He himself. Arjuna thinks like that. That boy does not care for that. He is a young boy. Then Arjuna and all the regiment of his goes to against that boy to fight. What? Lord Krishna silent. When he goes there fighting, before fighting, that boy says, well, Arjuna, be careful. He will be killed in a fraction of a second. He is too much angry and shocked. After that posture of English
Bow and arrow.
man, not going. He cannot pass even one hand. And that boy, he then and there Arjuna died. After that, Lord Krishna came, he gave his life again. At this time he said, what happened? What happened? So long he was with you, you are. In the Sanskrit language says that nimitta matra bhavasutpusha. That is, you are nothing other than him. You have got no right to do anything. Then he says that I have understand, but now what can I do? In that time he says that sarva dharmena parijajya mamaka. I mean, everything is just give up on him. Follow? Man has got no right. Man cannot do anything. All these medical men, lawyer or anybody, scientist, this, that, everybody, mental, all, they in any circumstances, they cannot go beyond. Beyond mind, they have got no right. Beyond mind, what do you mean by beyond? They do not know. Nobody knows. Sometimes think there is something, but that think also mind. I am thinking, that is also mind function. Understand? Yesterday you follow what happened? He told that he cannot do anything. In a fraction of a second, a severe something, he being a doctor, one of the topmost doctor of medicine. And you know, that's why I'm telling all these people. I do not. I told him, as if I love him, you come in any circumstances. He comes. Dadaji is talking, but he is severe pain. That is not a new disease. That is very old. But he did not utter a single word to Dadaji, anything. Because he does not like all this. About that Peter Mayor Dome. Here, a fortnight back, I think so, in London. He was also present. There are so many topmost people present. And Queen's doctor, Mrs. Gandhika representative, all the high commissioners is sitting. Just, I tell you one thing, severe attack, heart attack. They say there's no chance. Uta phone. Uta, that is a wife of, you know, Dr. Peter Mayer Dom, economist in the world wise, was chairman of world economist in Germany. Before he was a VC, Vice Chancellor of Bochum University. Egoistic number one. When one of his friends goes to photograph with Dadaji, in that time, first he said, follow me? Why? Huh? Oh, you ask first. You speak that matter. That man like Peter, and Peter is such a respected man, the Oxford DC, London University VC, Dr. John Hested. They look bottom. He believed, but he said to him next in the morning about that photograph. Please give me those photographs with the negative. All right, that man. After few months back, he write a letter. Uta, that is a Mrs. going to die. I later. Phone first. And he is not dying. This much. Don't bother. Today is month of July. You come with your wife month of October for in the Utsav. It is not possible. That entire lake will be. At that time he was also German. He's getting aroma all along. In the bus, in his house, here, there. Ultimately, no need of anything. She is cured. She came to my house and he lectured. He was also present. London, you know the Dr. Michael Horror, Barnashire. He's a topmost writer. He had been to also. In that, and after that he goes to that Calcutta University to give some lecture. After that, Dr. Peter Mayor Dome, every year he goes to Paris. Every year goes to the Utsav, spending thousands and thousands. What happened? I don't know. And heart attack, severe heart attack. I told Uta, a fortnight back, I think so, 10 to 15 days. I talked to Uta, Uta's money misses. Don't bother, he'll be cured day after tomorrow. Let him come to your house, then you phone me. So what happened? That is done by Dadaji. Dadaji says no, he cannot do anything. He is also suffering. He sent me from German. There are so many medicines to save him. See, that's why I'm telling, if anybody faith on him, no problem. Good, bad, don't look after all these things. Because is there any good? It may be opposite or not. Who is good, who is bad, we do not know. Because we are foolish to fool, but we don't believe. But Chaitanya, what is your idea? Correct or not? You think?
I was just talking about this incident just happened a few weeks ago while we were in London. It seems every year when we travel about the world, there seems to be a theme of consciousness questions that are generally asked by people. In different places, it'll be, one year it'll be nuclear war they'll be asking him. This year, everybody, and she was there, she was smiling, she said, here we go again. Everybody asked him the same question. Dadaji, how can I gain peace of mind? Everybody wants peace of mind. And he would respond and say, what do you mean by peace of mind? What are you talking about? It's not peace of mind you want. And then it would always come to the point that it wasn't peace of mind they wanted. They wanted a certain situation cleared up that they shouldn't have to worry about anymore. Their daughter to graduate from college, or their husband to leave them, or their mother not to leave them, or the bank to lend them the money. That's what they considered peace of mind. Then he tried to explain to them that there isn't any such thing as peace of mind. That what you people are chasing after, with all these gurus and yoga, boga, meditation, sitting to gain peace of mind, is absolutely foolishness. And paying money for it, because that is not the nature of the mind. Just as he's talking about a horse. A horse has a certain nature. He says you can trust a snake more than you can a person. A snake will never fool you. A snake will always act like a snake. A person, no matter who they are, your mother, your father, your child, today it's convenient and they mean it. They feel in their mind, I love you, I want to help you, I'll do this. Tomorrow something happens and they turn on you. That's just the nature of the mind. He says you can't try to deal with that, you have to try to understand that. And just remember, you've come with something. You have no life except the essence of this life that's beating in you 24 hours a day. You don't even know how to breathe. You breathe? Who's breathing? What can we do? It's too bad that we only have to find out that we don't have any power when it's too late. And then we reach out and we say to someone like that, help me, or God help me. Whether we have billions or millions or what. No man ever stopped an earthquake or a hurricane or a volcano. Not possible. I'm going to the peace of mind. Dadaji says, if you just remember this, there's this Mahanam, there's this life going on in you. Pretty soon, you'll start to feel something. When situations get totally out of hand, that you know you can't control, nothing you can do about it, where before you would go sitting, doing something, all of a sudden that'll take hold of you. Everything will be all right. Now this Dr. Peter Mayadom, the reason he didn't want his photo taken, I was there this first night. That whole thing is a very funny, beautiful story, but I won't go into it. It's because he's a very famous man in Germany. Known all through Germany. He's one of the top economic advisor to the government of West Germany, chancellor of the universities, and everything. And he didn't want to be photoed with, afraid that maybe in the newspaper one photo will come with one Indian guru or yogi or saint, something like that. He was afraid of it. But all his life, he told me he was a closet person. In other words, his seeking after truth. Seeking something, like he said. He had the best position, he reached the top. There was nothing more. Financially, everything. He had everything a man can desire, and yet he's looking for something. He's looking for something. He's looking for something. So, many things happened because Dada took him over, and many things happened in his life. He told him that he would leave the university, which Dr. Peter Mayadom says, how could that be possible? That's my life. I'm a scientist. No, they're paying you nothing. Nothing. You should be, you'll see soon something, and then this will happen and that, and it'll all come in the open. And he was even a vegetarian, this man, a closet vegetarian all the years. And then he came out publicly, and now all the universities now in Germany have vegetarian. Anyway, what happened was he was offered a job, this man, after that. Volkswagen International created a new department, a department of education. And they made him the directing manager of this whole thing at 10 times the salary he was getting in the university. Plus the university retained him and kept him on. I'm getting off of my stuff. So he rang up on the telephone, Peter, and I'm speaking to him. And he told me he had the severest heart attack possible, recurring. And the doctor said that absolutely no chance for him, that he was gone. Pain was awful. And he said, I'm telling you the truth, Art. He said, I have never felt such great peace. There was never one moment I felt fear, afraid. He said, the other was with me, Mahanam was with me. Everybody was amazed at the way I was acting. I was just at peace. Mahanam was going on in me. I knew whatever was okay. Only he kept reassuring me, don't worry what they're saying, it's all right. Don't worry what they're saying, it's all right, it's all right. And then he said, oh, it's done. And he's all right. He went home to the hospital. It's just a story, but it's like we say, faith is something that's different. Because sometimes I see so many cases where people are tested, not on ourselves. On ourselves, faith is easy. It's usually easier because we say, okay, I live or I die. But when you're faced with a situation, sometimes you have a little doubt. You have this grandchild, or this little child, and you're sitting there, and the top cardiologists are telling you, the child needs immediate open heart surgery. It has a congenital heart defect, and it has a hole in the heart, or something. Must have immediately. And you're sitting in the biggest, cardiac center in the world, and here's this man 12,000 miles away in Calcutta saying, no need. Take the baby home, be all right. And 1 year you bring the baby back for testing. Then it's something, because it's not yourself. I don't know of any case, thousands of cases. It's interesting, doesn't it? professional people, top scientists, doctors themselves. He's not here to turn things that people think are unsuccessful into success or get them more money. He's here to tell you that living within you is the divine. You have already everything. You're the richest in the world. What are you looking for? What are you seeking? Just remember that's more than enough. Pretty soon you'll see. You'll feel something in your life, and then it won't make any difference. Success, failure, good, bad, with money, without money, that's no criteria, obviously. Because he teaches people how to live with success as well as with failure. So, this is just some little idea. But nobody understands. After 7 years, I still have a little difficulty at times.
But the telephone call came from Fiji?
From Fiji. And this is something that happens. Dadaji says, okay, maybe a magician, okay? But he said there's something nobody in the world has ever duplicated. That's something called aroma and fragrance. Now, there are people in this room that can tell you there are people that are not emotionally disturbed people that tell you that they get this aroma, this fragrance comes. At the oddest places, at the oddest times. How or when, don't know. Anyway, the phone, we were sitting in Dr. Kumar's house in London. Telephone call came from Fiji. And it's inconvenient there because the phone is all the way at the other end, so he has to get up and go across the room, so many people. And somebody suffering a heart attack problem there. So he said, bring some water by the telephone. We're in London, they're in Fiji. Bring some water, a cup of water by the telephone. And then that cup of water turns fragrant. He says, now you give them a few drops, you'll see. And then you ring me back in a little while. And every time it's the same thing. Doesn't he just show me somebody that can, that fragrance, that's something absolutely beyond anything that to me, that I don't know. When I'm sitting 1,200 miles away from him, and somebody's home, and I take a bottle of water from the table, I'm sitting having dinner, and I pour a glass of water, I go to drink it, and it's not water. It's a perfume that Sharon Gills. And I say to my host, I say, why do you keep this kind of water on the table? He says, no, that's plain water. I said, well, I give her, you taste it. She tastes it, I give it to him. Oh, that's something. I put that glass on the side, I take the bottle, I pour another glass, it's plain water. But they both came out of the same bottle. How is that possible? What is that about? He says that's something. That's, you'll know something, you'll feel something then. That's an amazing thing. And that's happened over and over and over and over and over again. But Dadaji says too, those of little faith, you can show them, you can do them, no use. They're trying to see with these eyes. They're trying to understand with this mind. Limited, they can't. They can't. They come, can you imagine this? Can you imagine somebody coming to Albert Einstein? Right? Somebody coming to Albert Einstein, who works at the 7-Eleven store down here, right? To test him. And goes away and says, that man doesn't know anything about physics or mathematics. I asked him a few simple questions, he didn't know it. He didn't know the answer. Says, and many come like fools before him, testing him. Then they go away. We come here to do our duty, he says, enjoy. How much simpler can you, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's no food to eat, food not to eat, this to do, this clothes to wear. There's no limitation, there's no restriction. That's all some kind of... He says that one that renounces everything and goes off to the cave. To sit in the cave. If anything, that statement they're making is they're telling the Creator 24 hours a day, you made a mistake with creation. I can't accept your creation. I'm making my own creation. I'm going away. All this other business, that's wrong. You made a mistake with it. Live in it. Enjoy, he says. Here a few days, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Just remember, do your duty. More than enough. Right? Too simple. Too simple. And he said, today you people are making saints and billionaires out of the worst rogues and dacoits and cheats that have ever come on this earth. In the name of the divine, in the name of the supreme, you people are making them saints, giving them Nobel Peace Prizes and helping them build monuments to themselves and ashrams and temples and fools. He said, what are you doing? He's saying, be careful. Times are very bad. We're coming in bad times. When economically things break down in the world, that's the best time for these other people. Okay? That's when churches thrive. Gurus thrive. That's when they get the riches, because the people get frightened. And they run with the last few dollars, help me, save me, looking for something special, some blessing, something. In 7 years, you can imagine, I could tell stories and stories and stories and happenings in my own personal experience, in my own life, and healings and what we call miracles. What we call miracles is just the way he works, normally and naturally. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. He didn't connect it to me. A few days ago, he came out of the bath. I was waiting for him to come out of the bath. He came out of his old dripping. He went here like this. He grabbed my beard and just got all fragrant. He said, you can go now. It's nothing. Just go now. It's all right. And what he meant nothing is I was getting in a Volkswagen Rabbit and I had 3,100 miles to drive. By myself. He said, nothing, go. And I drove 3,100 miles in less than 3 days. I never got tired and I fall asleep really or anything. That's just not possible. That's just, nothing. It was just there with fragrance, everything, all the ones. I don't know. I'm not a fool. I bothered going out and looking around and seeing what was there. And then finally I gave it all up. It's all absurd, all these people, all. And then someday, one day, so I spoke to him once. I can talk Dada for maybe 1 year. No sleep. Just talking about it. But if you have something on your mind you'd like to ask him, ask him. There are many questions. He only has one answer. To all the questions, there's only one answer. And he deals with some very practical things. He came some years ago to Eugene, Oregon. Eugene, Oregon is the birthplace of jogging. And he told a very large group of people are all fools. You're ruining your lives. Pretty soon in this country you'll have doctors only for jogging. You don't know what you're doing. You're ruining yourself. And everybody was shocked. And then he's telling this exercise and that. He says, you walk, ride a bicycle, swim, do something natural for the body. Don't hurt the body. Don't force anything. Don't ever force anything. Don't ever give up anything by force. Otherwise you'll create the worst enemy that you've ever had in your life. Desires, everything. And now it's coming about, they're saying, walking, we saw it. Doctor, health doctor on TV just recently. There's definitely much more benefit to the body physically than walking than running or jogging or weightlifting or all these exercises. Walking is the natural way.
I have a question.
say it's faith, right? That knowing. Don't struggle. But how can you get to that point? Life is a struggle. So how can you get to the point where suddenly you're over and you just know that everything is simple?
You can't, he's saying, so life is a struggle. You came here to do something in this life.
Yes, I know.
Good, bad, makes no difference what you came here to do. If you accept that you'll have to do this, yeah? And just while you're doing it, if it's making a lot of money, just remember that you're not doing it. If it's going to jail, remember again you're not doing it. If it's getting crucified, remember you're not doing it. Okay? That you have a certain duty to do in this life. Do it. He's saying again, just remember, just remember. Try not to think of all this going on, just try to remember something. Just try to remember something. Just try to remember something. He says you're absolutely correct. Life is a struggle. As long as you're in this body, as long as you're in this mind. Is this correct? Daily it's a struggle. Everything is a struggle. Only you have with you for this struggle the nearest, the dearest, your lover, your husband, your mother, your father, your dearest friend is with you. 24 hours loving you. 24 hours giving you life. How do you know what's good? How do you know what's bad? Were you Christian or raised Christian?
I was.
Look at these people that were around this man called Jesus. What happened to them? Did they have no struggle? Jesus got crucified standing up. His main devotee, Paul, got crucified upside down. Huh? Why is that? Why shouldn't he have just had a new chariot in a palace and said, this is not what it's about. This has nothing to do. There's no connection outside. We've come here with certain things, certain work to do, certain experiences to experience.
Well, can you tell me why we have come here with these experiences?
Why? She says, why? Why does one come with one type of experiences to struggle through? Or why does another come with different type of experience?
Through the lecture,
Not possible.
not lecture is lecture. You are question, one person is answer. Question and answer. But we do not know why we have come here. Here money in the earth. That is the main thing. Where we have come and where we will go. Second question is this. Actually, we have come here forever or not. If it is not for forever, then there is something who is doing everything. Actually, there is no difference between this man, that man, that man, that man, that man, that man. Nothing. Nobody is saying, nobody is God man, everybody is God man. Because other than God, other than that power, nobody can be alive. Correct? Doctor? Huh? Now you people can said that? Anybody? Huh? He said that everything is within. He is also within. Only we try to love. Love is done. Nothing. Follow? Or not?
No, I can't understand the last what he said.
He said what Christ said. He said, I forget all this other nonsense, okay? There's one thing to do. Love God with all your heart and all your thing. All the rest don't worry about. See? You look for truth. Everything else will be taken care of. If you look to everything else and you forget about truth, you forget about loving Him, if you break the first commandment, what He's saying, then everything is always confusion. Do it the other way. Stop pushing, stop pulling. Put the horse before the cart. It's just the first thing. You say struggle. We can talk about the people that came in this life and that's all their life was adversity and struggle. And they turned it into something beautiful and sweet and creative. I don't know that. But we have in our mind, you have an idea of what your life should be like, that it wouldn't be a struggle. But you don't know that. What are you struggling with?
I don't think it wouldn't be a struggle. I just think I would be in the element that I'm happiest in.
There's only one element, he said. It's all God. There's no place in the universe you can go that it isn't God. We recognize it, it's not, he's saying it's not only the sunrise and the sunset and the beautiful baby and the trees walking on, everything, any place. Why is one place more holy than another place? He said, no, it's all the same, right where you are. You're in the perfect place. But, sometimes I tell stories just sometimes so people can hear something. We need everything. We have a picture, a diagram. I'll just tell my flood story because this year we had great floods in America. But there was a very great devotee. And in his town where he was living, in Mississippi, floods were coming. So they came with a jeep to evacuate him from his house. He says, no, I'm a great devotee of God. I don't have to stay. God will save me with a miracle. I don't have to be concerned. And then the waters came. And he was leaning out of the window on the second floor of his house, and they came with a rowboat. Please come with us. No, look, you think I'm of little faith? You think some little water's going to stop me? God loves me. I love God. No problem at all, okay? Please come, they said. The water is rising. Pretty soon they come in a helicopter. He's on top of the roof, holding onto the chimney. Please take the rescue ladder. The dam is about to break. No, this is the final test for me. I have faith. Miracle will save me. I'm a great devotee. And the dam breaks. Pretty soon he wakes up and he's there with St. Peter and he's angry. I mean, he is angry. How dare he do this to me? My God, I'm such a great devotee. I gave money and I went to church and I did everything. And I asked for one miracle and I didn't get it. Where is it? St. Peter says, you see that door over there marked number 1, the only one? Go knock on the door. See if that. He goes, knocks on God's door and he goes in. He says, God, why did you do this to me? One miracle I asked in my life. And you disappointed me. And God looked at him and said, well, first I came as a jeep. He said, no, I don't like you as a jeep. Then I came as a rowboat. He said, no, I don't like you as a rowboat either. And I thought maybe I came as a helicopter. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm talking silly, but it's not silly.
Yes, it makes sense. That's cute.
Sure.
Let's see, I'm looking for
Chowdhury says if anybody would like to see him tomorrow for Mahanam, to come in the morning tomorrow. His age is quite advanced. And it's as advanced as his age is, it's very difficult. Walking a few hours and doing some, getting it going. And then sometimes I sit with him for breakfast, we do, and we get a plate of fresh fruits and a couple of pieces of plain wheat toast, a glass of buttermilk. You know, he's not eating bacon and eggs, or, home fries, or, what's that, Twinkies. It's just, he says that's more common sometimes. But anyway, he says if anybody is interested in meeting with him personally, or seeing about Mahanam, well, then please come in the morning.
What time?
Usually it's 9, 10, between 9 and 12. Between 9 and 12 is usually good time. And if you come from Mahanam, you should go away with... I've had a lot of trouble in years with Dadaji in America. I'll talk in front of him because he never permits me to package him, you see, or present him or do publicly. He's not interested in crowds, people. He doesn't have any organization, nothing to join. He doesn't want donations every month coming in or anything. I told him the American consciousness is really a simple one. It's geared to marketing. And if you tell them, look, you come for this Mahanam, it's $200 for this mantra or with this secret or this. Americans, no problem. Okay, they'll go for it. Then you gift them a book or something, a pamphlet or some reminder, something that they should remind. They go away, they're happy. See? I said, but you can't give them everything. Then you tell them maybe, you should take this book and say $10, $15. You have a reminder. Maybe you'll understand something here. Something. Oh, I didn't know there's a charge for this, and anything. So he's saying this, books that cost money to print, A lot for something that I think this costs money. This is some kind of business. He says, but Mahanam, how can I? Isn't that mine? How can I whisper in your ear something and charge something that's already yours? And you've forgotten about it? How can I? What kind of character am I then? He says, if you lose your watch and I find it and call you and say, oh, you want your watch back? Give me $100. It's your watch. It's your Mahanam. It belongs to everybody. So, what I'm saying is that you should take something with you. To know something, to read about some other people's experience, or different things like that. I don't know why he does it. He's a fool like that. He spends untold amount of money every year to come to this country to see a few people that are sincerely interested in truth. Not in what's in it for them, or how they're going to get something better, or that kind of thing. Try to feel something, try to understand. And once you have this Mahanam and this experience, maybe that moment you won't feel anything. Just have faith. When one day you'll be beyond anything and there's nothing you can do anymore about anything to get out of it, and all of a sudden you'll feel something will take over in you. So then you'll know at that moment that the impossible just became possible. And I don't mean on big, major things. Truth exists in trivia, in trivial matters. As much as in the great tragedies of life and the great works of life. No different. It'll work in everything. We see it absolutely all the time. We just had 3 experiences of it with the airline in dealing with things. 3 totally impossible situations that were totally impossible. It could not be changed. It could not be done. And in each case, it was the same. It was standing with a person, and that person is not even authorized. That person, and all of a sudden, this Maharaj takes over in the presence. I'll do it. I don't know what. I'll do it. Go for it. There's so many ways. So many ways. Everything. But then it proves to you you can't do anything. There's something. There's a power within you. You can do anything. Everything. Absolutely. Dadaji will be here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday he's leaving. Going to Colorado and then Texas, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Massachusetts, then back to London, Belgium, and then back to India.
For the first 50 years, for the next 50 years, I will get
There's a glass of water
I'm working it down.
right there.